I'm on the last leg of this painting and this happens every time. It's almost like before you go on stage to give an announcement or a speech or something and you get those like, oh my God, like this is really happening. In my mind, I'm like, don't mess it up, don't mess it up. It's almost like the bigger the piece, the more vulnerable it feels, like the more possibility there is to mess it up.
Welcome to my channel.
Okay, we are starting painting number 3 of my 2026 art series. Ooh, this one I've been looking forward to. It is gonna be a bit different than the other 2 that I just did, though it's going to feel very cohesive to the overall collection. Obviously, it's going to be with hands. And this one, I'm going to be painting what it's like to overthink. So let me show you what I got and let's get started. The upgrade of the equipment is still going strong. Updated my phone from a 13 to this iPhone 17 Pro. It is fantastic. The camera is doing everything I want it to. And then I decided to get a little Rode wireless mic here because I live on a corner with a ton of traffic, and it was just also because I'm doing bigger paintings. I'm getting further away from the camera and the audio is just not as good. It's like very echoey or it's like nasally if I'm trying to like edit it. So we're trying this route, and give me some grace as I kind of figure out how to do some audio editing. Yes. I'm kind of just learning how to do all of this, so a lot of trial and error. Here is my next painting. It is much bigger in size than the other 2 I just completed. It is 30 inches by 30 inches, and I have my tracing of my hands on top ready to transfer. So I kind of placed it somewhere in the middle, and I'm going to be pressing it into my panel board, and then it'll be good to paint on. Here's a few differences about this panel board than the other 2. So the other 2 were with my clayboard recipe. This one, however, I did do a clayboard recipe, but then I put a ground on top. Ground, watercolor ground specifically, is kind of like liquid paper. You just put it all on top in 1 or 2 layers, and then it's going to take on kind of the characteristics of watercolor paper. It's not quite as absorbent, but it is more permanent than clayboard. So with this that I'm going to be doing, it's going to have a different look to it, and I'm not going to be able to scrub out the color as much, and it's not going to be as I guess you could say blotchy or watery looking. It'll be smoother. And here, let me give you an example of a mock-up. Here are 2 examples. So this one is an aqua board, and it is not my recipe, but it gives you a really good example of just how blotchy and watery everything looks. This is a really cool style, but it's not the one that I'm going for this overall wreath. So the other one that I'm actually going to be doing is this one. This one has that ground on top, and you can kind of see it's got more of a paper look to it. It's a little sketchy, like textured. It's not as blotchy, but it's not as absorbent as paper, so it's going to still have the watery look, but just a little more mild. If you're wondering how I even started with this concept and put all of these hands together, I did make a video about it, which I will link here. There's a couple of edits that I'll probably do. Like, I think I want to pull this hand down towards the center of the circle. So I'm going to go ahead and press this into my panel board, transfer it, and then we'll make those subtle edits.
You're listening to 3. Coming up on 2 minutes. Minus 2 minutes.
Okay, I plan to kind of lower this hand in, and my graphic design brain has all of these hands that I keep kind of on file, and I keep them in this envelope. And now I'm just looking through to find the one that I want to put in there. That might be it. I have 2 of those, so let's keep looking. So these are obviously a lot of the hands that I used here. Aha, there's the other one. So here's this one. Pretty sure it's this one. Yep. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this one to where it makes sense in this whole wreath. Here are some of the colors that I'm going for. I have my Naples yellow, one of my classics for a Caucasian hand tone. It actually works for a lot of hand tones. I have a cadmium red, a ultramarine blue. I might try this Payne's gray out. And of course some browns to deal with. I have a burnt sienna and then this raw umber. I also have this new color, I think it's called Capote Mortum Violet. I don't know how to pronounce this. Anyway, this like brown violet, and I'll add this on to my palette as well. It's not as red as the burnt sienna. Okay, that's the palette. Let's take another look at this painting. This is the one that is inspiring my overthinking piece. This one's called Conclusion, and I'm using the same colors that I just described, but it's not going to be as, I think, messy. The expression is going to be probably a little tighter because this is just all jumbled together. And so since I'm wanting there to be a wreath, it's going to need a little bit more control. Hello, it's another day of adding some layers onto my overthinking piece. And if you can see, just in front of it is my conclusion piece. These two are kind of a pair in their style. So I wanted to bring this one down from the wall and put it in front of me so I could have that as inspiration and kind of a guide to tell me what the tones, the colors, and the depth is, and kind of even the nuance of this painting that will mirror this one. Now for the finishing touch. Nice. Thank you so much for joining me as I painted my third painting in this 2026 art series. This one really nailed it. I am so pleased with how this one turned out, and I really want to do another one just like it. I think I might do a spin-off on this, but it'll have to be in the future. Right now I have another painting that's coming up, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what that one's going to be. They just keep getting bigger in size, so here's another one coming at you, and this one is called Paying It Forward. This one is of my boyfriend's hand, and he is the inspiration for this painting. This one's going to be super cool. I'm going to have these hands be kind of a blur. And so they will have their shapes, but there'll be a bit of a blur going on, and then there'll be like a rainbow color going on with that as well. So this one, expect this one to be a bit watery, colorful, and light in tone, some pastels. This one will be on my clayboard recipe on the panel. So it's gonna be just full of really delicious textures. Okay, this is what we have so far in the collection. Let me know which one's your favorite, whether that was the process of making it or just how it looks at the end. These have been so fun and experimental. I can't wait to dive into just more techniques and how this is turning out.
Thank you for watching.